Hello babies, oh my gosh, I'm so excited because today I get to finally open this Jaclyn Hill, what is it, the palette? This Jaclyn Hill X Morphe palette. Like, I just received it and honestly I went to the gym and then I came home and was lazy and I'm just like, oh my gosh, I want to open this so bad, but I know that if I do open it, I have to film a video. That way I can let all the brown girls out there who are skeptical about this palette, because I know that whatever may lie inside this box, like, I'm so excited. And just a quick disclaimer, because I know how people are and I know how I am myself. I love Jaclyn Hill. I have been watching her for years. I can't even tell you how long, probably since she started on YouTube, and just she's inspired me so much as a person and as someone who really loves makeup and has shown me so much regardless of skin tone or whatever. But I do really like her, and that honestly is besides the point of this video. I'm gonna let all of that completely 100% go and just do a review based on this palette, because I know that I was very skeptical about buying it because it's a product produced by a woman not of color, and I'm just like, how can she formulate this? How can she make this work for me? How can she make this work for women who are darker than me? So I'm just so excited, and I hope that you guys like this video. Don't forget to subscribe, and let's jump on in. Alright, so first things first, let's just talk about the packaging itself. I'm not going to show you my address label, but it is on here. And it says, handle with care, fragile, thank you. So I think that's a big deal, because the #1 issue with palettes, eyeshadows, and this type of form of packaging is that you don't want anything to break. So it's nice that it has that on there. It was not on there with my last Morphe palettes that I ordered, so it's nice that they just took that extra step to add it on here. And it came in a box, you know, a pretty big size box just for it to be a palette, which does give it a lot of room to bounce around. But as I shake it, it kind of feels, I guess you could say it feels secure. I'm not too worried about anything being broken in here. Finally. So I'm gonna go ahead and just open it up, and you know, I expect there to be a palette in here. Okay, so the box, as I opened it, as I just did this, does say Morphe, what does that say? Morphe Inspire? Morphe Inspire Glam, and then on here it says at Morphe Brushes with all of their social medias on it. And as I'm looking inside the palette, there is some bubble wrap type of thing surrounding the package itself, which makes sense as to why it wasn't moving too much inside of there. So yeah, it does come with a nice little bubble wrap around it. Oh, I'm so excited! Okay, and wow, this is like bigger than I thought it was gonna be. That's so weird. Like, this is the packaging, and it's in a little cardboard box, and it has Jaclyn on the back with red hair, which is so funny because now she has brown hair, and it says the Jaclyn Hill palette Morphe. Ooh! And on the back it says, creating this palette has truly been a dream come true for me. Morphe gave me full creative control and allowed me to customize my dream palette for everyone to enjoy. Every shade was customized by me, and I really hope you guys love it as much as I do. I wanted a range of neutrals and pops of color to accommodate all skin tones. I put my heart and soul into this palette, and I hope my pickiness pays off. XO Jaclyn. So it does say that it's meant to accommodate all skin tones, which we will see. We will see, Jaclyn. We will see. So let's just open this thing up. Ooh. And as I open it, I see that the package is really big because surrounding it is more bubble wrap. So they really, I would say they really did try to make sure that this package is secure as possible. And the overall feel of the palette, it is definitely made out of like a cardboard, and you know, the white and the silver. And then on the back it says Morphe X Jaclyn Hill, and it has little JH's all over it, which is cute. And I don't know what this little number is here, but there's a little number on the top. Are you ready for this? Because I'm so ready for this. I've been waiting all day. Wait a minute. this is missing something. So I watched a few videos before actually purchasing the palette, and I watched videos while waiting for the palette, and I guess it's supposed to come with something that says the names of each color, and my package does not have that. I opened it for you guys on camera so you could see, but I have nothing on here that says, you know, anything about these shades. So I'm kind of disappointed in that. That really does suck, because I mean, it's something so small, but just to know the name of the shades, because I am a YouTuber, I am someone who is gonna use this in the future on my channel, so to have the names even just on the packaging itself would be great, but I don't even have the slip, so that kind of sucks. That's like the strike one. I don't like that. So that like, it's not that big of a deal. I could always look them up, but at the same time, that really does suck for me. Now, I definitely want to go ahead and just start swatching everything. Like, the one color that I want to swatch the most is this one. And I'm sorry that I don't have the names, guys. Like, I don't have the name, so I can't even tell you what name this is, but this shade is absolutely gorgeous, and I just want to rub all in there and swatch it. But I'm going to try to not swatch anything until I've completed the eye look. I've been debating which eye that I've wanted to do with this palette since I saw it. It has a bunch of greens, and like, I totally want to do something with the purple or the royal blue in here, but I thought, why not do the eye that Jaclyn Hill created herself on her channel and try to do it, or like a recreation of that using all of the shades that she used, because I am a different complexion from her. I'm not going to set it with a base or anything, just to show how the products would look on a woman of color, and just to try to see if even recreating a look by her is possible. So let's jump right into that. I need to clip my hair up. Do you guys like the bangs? Like, I got them cut a long time ago and really hated them because they were all as short as this piece right here, but I'm kind of feeling the bangs now. I've figured out exactly how to manipulate them and get them how I like them, and I've been digging it. Okay, so I rewatched her video, and I am gonna change the very first shade that she uses because it is a transitional shade. It's the shade MFEO. I'm just gonna go with the one next to it because it has a little bit more darkness in there, and I think it'll contrast with my eye just a little bit better. So I'm picking it up, and the first thing I noticed when I tap my brush in it, and this is the Morphe M441 brush, that it does have a little bit of like a little kickback. So I'm just gonna tap it first, woo, and I'm gonna just go ahead and put that shade right into my crease. The first problem that I noticed is that the shade is very similar to my complexion. So the issue alongside that is that it really, as a transition shade with no base underneath, it's really not gonna work for me. It just kind of makes my skin look a little bit more red than it is naturally, and it's not really doing too much. So I'm gonna switch up the shade, but I'm gonna go in with butter and see if that works any better. And I'm applying this shade into my upper crease. Okay, yeah, so immediately after putting butter in, it does work a little bit better as a transitional shade. It has a little bit more red in it. It's still on my skin, I can still see like skin underneath it. I'm going to try to make it more pigmented on the outside, like she said, and any other adjustments that I need to make, I will. However, the eyeshadows themselves, like these matte ones that I've used so far, are really creamy, and I appreciate that. So now I'm actually gonna skip her next step, which was to use butter because I've already used it, and I'm gonna go in with Pukey. And she says that she just uses it to kind of make sure everything is blended out, but I'm actually going to use Pukey more or less to sculpt out my crease, if I can, depending on if this shade is just another one that is like my complexion. And she also went in with an M441, so I just kind of dusted off my last one, and I'm using it again. And as I go in with this shade, I'm noticing that it really is just like my skin tone shade. It's not really deepening up anything. It's not really making much of a difference as far as how the eye looks. It just kind of like I really don't know, it's not doing anything at all. And I'm picking up this time, like, this is a lot to be putting on the eye and not really getting any type of effect. If you guys can see, that's how her eyes are looking so far. So she really has like a nice ombre effect of those shades kind of going. It's blending, it's looking really beautiful. And on me, it literally looks like nothing. So keep that in mind. Another step that Jaclyn does is just using translucent powder and just making sure that it's angled with the eyeshadow so that way it sits the way that she wants, there's no fallout, and that the line is perfect. I don't have a translucent powder right now. I have the Laura Mercier one that I liked, but I'm just gonna go in with my Sacha Buttercup powder and do that little trick, which this trick really does work, especially if you're sloppy like me. But it just makes everything look a little bit better, even though I really feel like at this point there's no point because these shadows are blending out into my skin anyway. But still, just to follow the steps and do everything, or attempt to do everything that she's doing. I'm gonna use the M330, which is a different brush that she used. I don't have all of those blending brushes. I'm trying to use Morphe brushes. However, she's going in with the shade Roxanne. She just says to work it right into your crease. So I'm excited to use this color because it is a little deeper, and I'm scared at the same time because I really do want it to work, but we shall see. Applying this shade does have a lot more pigmentation, I guess you can say, at least for my complexion. It's showing up a bit better, and I'm not tapping my brush off at all. I'm just going right from the pan into my eye socket. So blending that shade out kind of with the others, it's looking pretty good. That shade overall is really pretty, and it blends out super nice. Like, I got the gradient effect that I should have got previously just with that shade alone. I'm going to go in with the shade Hunts, and she said it's very pigmented. All you need is a little bit and it'll go a long way. So I'm hoping for that. Ooh, okay. This shade is really pretty. I'm going in with the shade Creamsicle just to make sure that there are no harsh lines along the top, and just to save some time I went ahead and finished my eye off camera. And when using the shade Queen and Firework as my lid shimmery shade, I noticed that they needed a little bit of Fix Plus just to make sure that they had that high shine metallic look. However, the mattes blend out very nicely. Overall, the way that my eyes came out, I am not unhappy with it. I think that they look pretty cute. I think that it looks pretty pleasing. The colors definitely look a lot more vibrant on camera. In person, it is still vibrant. It's just a lot more burgundy red. As far as how I felt about the application on the eyes and everything, I thought it came out really nice. The mattes are really creamy, at least the ones that I used on my eyes. I noticed that some shades I'm gonna have a little bit of trouble with if I do just decide to go in with bare skin and no primer, no lighter concealer underneath it. But besides that, I think it came out really nice and it looks super pretty. So with all of that, let's jump on into the swatches and wrap this thing up. Alright guys, this is the palette, and I just wanted to show you how I will be swatching each shadow just so there's no confusion on how I will apply each one to my arm. I just give it a few swirls because I think it's unfair to just do one single swipe. And as you can see with the first row here, the shades are kind of ashy and would definitely need a base underneath if you planned on wearing them. In the second row, things start to warm up a bit. There are definitely a few transitional shades and the shimmer ones are gorgeous. However, if you are darker than me, you may need some type of a base. The third row is overall my favorite, carries on with the warm tones, and the deepest red shade did appear to come off a little patchy, but it was very pigmented and seemed pretty easy to blend.
The fourth row has a few cool tones as well as a purple and a blue, and the royal blue was a little lackluster for me. I was excited to use it, but it may apply a little better with some Fix Plus. Overall, the last row was what drew me into the palette, and it definitely stood out the most alongside all of the rows. I really liked the teal shade all the way to the end, and this row did not disappoint.
Alright, so my final thoughts on the Jaclyn Hill x Morphe palette, or I guess just the Jaclyn Hill palette. I actually really do like this, you guys, and I'm not saying that just because I like Jaclyn Hill. Like, no, Jaclyn Hill does not pay my bills. Jaclyn Hill is someone who I like, but not someone who I'm willing to risk my reputation on YouTube for. I really do actually like this palette. It swatches really well. It applies to the eyes well. The only issue that, that I have is with the few shades here at the top, which you just really have to kind of make work if you are a darker skinned woman. And, we're the queens of making anything work, so it's definitely possible. But they seem very promising. I haven't used every shade. I haven't did every look that you can do with this. So take that into mind if you are trying to decide to purchase it. But I do think it's a very promising palette. I do think it would work very well. I do think if you decide to add it to your collection, it will be money well spent, especially if you're someone who's just looking for something to have to use all the time. It has a great variety of shades, so you can create a lot of different looks with it. One thing that I'm upset about is just not having that pamphlet that tells me the words or the names on here, and that's kind of annoying. I paid almost $50 for this palette, and for that to be left out, it's not like that big of a deal, but like I said, it's something that you look forward to. You look forward to receiving the whole thing. I didn't even receive a receipt, which is very weird, but I'm very happy with this overall, and I think if you decide to purchase it, you have made a good decision, and I'm just overall super happy and excited to use it again and again. So thank you for watching. Thank you, Jaclyn, for coming out with such a great palette. It really is awesome, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.